Hey, so this is a quick video that I'm making for the event I went to a few days ago with my Change the Future hat on, which was held in Parliament in the House of Commons, held by the Digital Democracy Commission, who I wasn't aware of, but they're really interesting, and I understand them to be a body that is genuinely trying to bust a bit of a hole in Parliament, in government, and actually try and allow in people's, at least at this stage, people's ideas for how better Parliament can interface with the public using the internet, giving more voice and power to the public.
Okay, in fact we only had one person indicating so far, so I'll squeeze in a fourth in this round to see if we can get through some more people. The gentleman in the brown shirt.
Hey, my name's Luke, and I'm part of a project called Change the Future. So I've been thinking for kind of 4 years, just playing with the question of what would it look like if there was a website that replaced the government, which brought everybody together to solve their own problems, because it's the people on the ground who are closest to the problems that we need to solve, and really, like, all of us are expert in the issues that affect us closest. So really, for me, it just seems a question of how good we are at drawing the wisdom and insight from these people and weaving it into a problem-solving sort of fabric that focuses our problems and challenges into actionable ideas. So I feel like finally I can see the end of the light with these designs now. You know, I feel like this is possible. My house is full of sketches. I feel like Jacques Fresco from the Venus Project, and you know, but there's loads of projects that are doing this kind of thing, and I'm interested in how Parliament is willing to interface with projects like this. What kind of time and space, funding, resources or permissions is it willing to create to sort of explore these opportunities or potential kind of affiliations? Because I don't think it needs to be a scary thing like overthrow the government. You know, it's going to be a long transition, but the internet is allowing me to print my own furniture, write my own software. You know, everything is now authorship is handed over to the user now, and I think politics is heading that way.
Okay, well, thanks very much. Just to recap, we've got the question about who decides on the platform for engagement and interaction and representation, the speed of decision-making in Parliament, the issues around parliamentary engagement via Twitter, but actually we are looking at engagement in a separate theme. Doesn't mean we don't need to can't touch on it today, but we are looking at that more in depth in the next session we're having. And what would it look like if there was a website that replaced the government? I would suggest actually, Luke, that you talk to our colleague Douglas Carswell, who is working up that very, very model. But I wondered actually, there's a couple of points there, particularly for the Commission, particularly about parliamentary engagement via Twitter.
They had a few bullet points which I'll try and pull up, but one of them is like, how can the public kind of better scrutinise government, like what it does and how it does it, using the internet, using sort of internet tools, web platforms, things like this, digital democracy. So there was a lot of really interesting e-democracy sort of projects and initiatives from Wikimedia, Open Data Institute and organisations like this, and so we sort of like swapped some business cards and stuff.
We have to lose the idea of control and let go of the message and trust people to create the messages for themselves, and actually trust people to take responsibility for their own futures a lot more than we do. We're very patriarchal in our decision making. As much as we talk here about citizens don't trust government, let me tell you, government doesn't trust citizens, and that's actually more damaging.
At this stage I really kind of want some interactivity from other people kind of involved in Change the Future or interested in getting properly involved in Change the Future. I feel like I've got a lot in my brain right now, really exciting stuff, but lots of different directions. I think just come here, like if you want to focus on Change the Future stuff, I find this a beautiful place to do that. And I'm here most of the time and can be if you want to swing by a particular time. But yeah, do you guys feel like this is an event that's so significant we need to get together? Because this event was put on essentially to actually give a report to government, to MPs, which crowdsources ideas for a parliament that uses e-democracy, digital democracy better, more effectively. So it feels like a step in the right direction, it feels good. obviously I do kind of feel like Change the Future is kind of also simultaneously building its own political legitimacy and going off on its own sort of path as well. And I don't know how well it sits to kind of fit it within the context of our government, which I still feel like is quite fundamentally defunct on so many levels, and in a kind of broken economy and everything. But I do think Change the Future needs to be realistic about transition and moving one step at a time. But most importantly of all, it's a democratic movement, so get involved and yeah, don't let this be my decision. But here's some tasters of the day anyway, and comment below, and yeah, let me know if you think we should arrange like an event here, like a sort of get together over the next sort of week or two maybe, where we can sort of bounce ideas, even if it's just a handful of us. Maybe we'll record it on Google Hangout or something, but and we can sort of actually submit some official ideas to the report, which will get listened to and sent to MPs.
The reality is, I genuinely believe, certainly the people I have visited and spoken with in this place, are wanting to use digital technology to improve both the working environment but also the way in which Parliament does interact with its citizens. The highlight again was cultural change. I think if we try and push the technology rather than the advantages that using technology can bring, then that is achievable. Technology is only a means to an end, but it's an important way of engaging citizens that are able to use the technology. The other aspect is, how can we get those that are disenfranchised today to feel part of the process? And maybe one of the things that when I was listening to one of the groups is to really try and focus on local issues as well. This place is obviously only interested in the national arena, the national legislative process. But I'm not sure how, within our report, we can try and emphasise the need to have processes in place that will facilitate more local governance. But the bottom line is, what I'm taking away, and I would really like to thank you all for the energy that you've put in today, the good ideas that you've had, is really to get involved. Make sure that you are submitting written comments to the Commission. The Secretariat, 2 members, in fact the third member has just come in now, so that's welcome again. Basically make any written comments. The format will be, we will be publishing a draft version towards the end of this year and soliciting your comments on the draft version. And then we're hoping that time will be allocated in the House, in this Parliament, for the proposals that are made in the report to be aired by MPs. And I want to emphasise, genuinely, we want to help MPs serve us, the constituents, better. And there is a willingness within the MP community to actually achieve that. But we need to identify low-hanging fruit, phase 1, the more challenging, phase 2, and then the long-term vision. But there is a real move to try and make change, I genuinely believe, and with your help and with your community's help, I genuinely think we can do it.
Kiss the move of mine.